The Gwyllion are female fairies of frightful characteristics who haunt lonely roads in the Welsh mountains and lead night wanderers astray. They partake somewhat of the aspect of the Hecate of Greek mythology, who rode on the storm and was a hag of horrid guise. The Welsh word gwyll is variously used to signify gloom, shade, duskiness, a hag, a witch, a fairy, and a goblin, but its special application is to these mountain fairies of gloomy and harmful habits. The Gwyllion take on a more distinct individuality under another name, and the Old Woman of the Mountain typifies all her kind. She is very carefully described in the guise in which she haunted Lanhiddel Mountain in Monmouthshire. This was the semblance of a poor old woman with an oblong four-cornered hat, ash-coloured clothes, her apron thrown across her shoulder, with a pot or wooden can in her hand, such as poor people carry to fetch milk with, always going before the spectator, and sometimes crying, "Wow up!" This is an English form of a Welsh cry of distress. Those who saw this apparition, whether by night or on a misty day, would be sure to lose their way, though they might be perfectly familiar with the road. Sometimes they heard her cry when they did not see her. Sometimes, when they went out by night to fetch coal or water, the dwellers near that mountain would hear the cry very close to them. Immediately after, they would hear it afar off, as if it were on the opposite mountain. The popular tradition in that district was that the Old Woman of the Mountain was the spirit of one Shuey White, who lived time out of mind in those parts and was thought to be a witch, because the mountains were not haunted in this manner until after her death. When people first lost their way and saw her before them, they used to hurry forward and try to catch her, supposing her to be a flesh and blood woman who could set them right, but they never could overtake her, and she, on her part, never looked back, so that no man ever saw her face. She has also been seen in the Black Mountain in Breconshire. Robert Williams of Langattock, Crickhowell, a substantial man and of undoubted veracity, tells this tale. As he was travelling one night over part of the Black Mountain, he saw the old woman, and at the same time found he had lost his way. Not knowing her to be a spectre, he hallooed to her to stay for him, but receiving no answer, thought she was deaf. He then hastened his steps, thinking to overtake her, but the faster he ran, the further he found himself behind her, at which he wondered very much, not knowing the reason of it. He presently found himself stumbling in a marsh, at which discovery his vexation increased. And then he heard the old woman laughing at him with a weird, uncanny, crackling old laugh. This set him to thinking she might be a gwyll. When he took out his knife for some reason or other, and she disappeared, he was sure of it, for it is well known that Welsh ghosts are afraid of knives.